You're with Johnny Vedmore on today's News Talk, TNT.
We're going to discuss a completely mind-blowing legal overreach today as well. A federal judge, Reggie Walton, wants to monitor Daniel Goodwin's computer as part of his January 6th probation. He already served his prison time. Has this been the same with all of the people involved in January 6th?
Absolutely not. Very few have been monitored other than the probation restrictions that they all fall under, the travel and, when you're home, when you're not, the regular halfway house to probation transition. But this seems to stand out as more of a monitoring for disinformation. In Daniel's trial, before he went before the judge the last time or so, he was on Tucker Carlson. And of course, Tucker the interview, so he didn't say anything about outside. He was asking about the 37 seconds Daniel was actually in the building, and the judge was mad that Daniel didn't share all the information with the public. Of course, Daniel's not asking the questions. He tried to strike him for disinformation, and then also in Daniel's case, when he got to make his statement to the judge, he brought up all the murders from January 6th, and the judge challenged him to stop, and he was digging his hole deeper, and he wanted to put those deaths in the record and make them the responsibility of the judge to make sure that they go for an investigation. And to my knowledge, the judge has not moved on that. So that brings up another position, 18 U.S. Code subsection 4. If you know about a felony, you have to report that, and if you don't, you can go to jail for 3 years. So maybe that's what Judge Walton has in mind, is a little prison vacation.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt it. So the man who's involved, though, Daniel Goodwin,
Yes.
has worked with you for 5 years previously, I believe.
Yes.
So will they be able to gain access to your site, your information, some of your details that he's got if they get the legal rights to delve into Daniel's digital world?
Well, I believe so. And I think that's really the cause that they're doing this to Daniel. Out of 14 other J6 defendants, why would they want access to his computer? Other than the fact that he's worked on all our documentaries and articles. I mean, he's my web guy for Stop Hate since, I believe, 2019. So, he's been a part of the crew for a long time. I do believe it's to gain access to what we have. But, it's kind of funny. I believe that they have the technology to already have access. I believe they can't say anything because they have no excuse to be in there. And I believe if they could get access, they can either, craft a narrative or plant information even to, but the funny thing, Johnny, he's only got about 3 months left on probation. Why would they even care? It's such a short time. So there's really more at play than people understand.
Yeah, they love a bit of this, don't they? They love getting access. That's what they want, total information awareness. Now, there's a question for you in the chat. I'll get onto that in probably just after the break. So ming a ding dong, you can wait a second. So Daniel's been a big part of your team and was involved in the investigations, research, documentaries, and articles. Why would this be allowed when he's already served all of his sentence? Like you say, he's got 3 months left of probation. Why would this be necessary for them to be able to have this sort of access to him?
Well, like I said, I think it gives them the excuse to talk about it. They probably already have access to everybody's information, everybody's computer and database. It's not a matter of that. They can't say anything because then they'd be caught for snooping around in everybody's computer without permission. But now this whole Patriot Act, and they can look at everyone under a microscope and, tap people's phones and all the stuff. And, is it paranoia? Is it not? I mean, you can't say cat diapers without Facebook or whatever picking up some word, keyword. So, the feds are using the same technologies, and, it's not a real surprise. But to monitor someone's computer like that, I think is next level, because it's not just monitoring what he puts out, say, on social media. It's getting into his computer to see what's in there to monitor for disinformation. And then who becomes the judge on what disinformation is? Because actually what Daniel has access to is the truth. So, the bad guys would just want to get in there and muck it up and try to screw that around to where it doesn't look or sound or feel like the truth. and discredit all the work that we've done, and that's a lot on the J6 subject. So, I see it all as a bigger strategy by the powers that be to, gain access, to discredit, to try to trip people up, especially on the last film, the J6 True Timeline. It has been a phenomenal film, a real eye opener for people. And the last thing that the bad guys, as I call them, would want is for that to gain credibility or traction and not be able to refute it. So they have to set traps and they have to play games, and hopefully the traps they set for us, they will fall in, and it'll all be a biblical Red Sea moment. That's what we're waiting on.
This is Johnny Vedmore on today's News Talk TNT.